Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Aging in Style with American Retirement Advisors. Joining us this morning is President and Owner Joe Vitale. Thank you so much for calling in. How are you, Joe?
Doing good, doing good. Good morning, Colette. How are you?
Good morning. We're so glad to have you. Always great information when Joe stops by. Now, today we're talking about finding the right financial advisor. Whatever your retirement priorities are, it's important to find and work with a financial advisor that's a good match for you and your needs. So, Joe, what should people look for in a financial advisor?
Well, you want to find somebody who understands you. I mean, we've told our clients before, we want you to feel comfortable with this. Think about it, pray about it. Make sure that you feel comfortable with who you're working with. Some people will say, well, my dad worked with them, or so-and-so worked with them, or her, and it just wasn't a good fit. They didn't understand me. They just wanted to push these products, or I don't know if they're working in my best interest. So you definitely want to have somebody who understands you, understands what your goals are, make sure that they understand, especially when we're talking about retirement planning, making sure they understand what your goals are and how to achieve those goals, and listen. They have to be able to listen to what your needs are and to provide solutions and not just sell products. They need to know what the best solution is for you.
Now, Joe, there's something called a holistic planner. Why is it important to have a holistic planner? What is it?
Well, that's really important, and we're a holistic planner, and what that is as a holistic planner, we look at the whole picture. We don't just say, oh, you need this product or you need to do this. We're going to let's look at the tax implications. Yes, I'm not a CPA. We're going to always recommend a good CPA or a good accountant to help them bounce off ideas. And we work with those, and that's one thing. We look at tax strategies, especially in today's environment with taxes. We're in a low tax environment, but we see in the near future taxes are going to go up. So we're looking at strategies for taxes. We're looking at strategies for long-term care. We're making sure that we also have legal representation, because as you get older, things happen. You need to make sure your powers of attorney are in place, that your will or your trust is in place. So we work with really good elder law and estate planning attorneys. So it's the whole picture. We have to look at what your income is, making sure you have predictable income. And too many advisors, they don't. They're just like, oh, you should have this, and this is what my people put together for you. But really, there's really no emphasis on the whole picture all the way through for the next 30, 40 years.
I love it. So you're looking at all of the goals and all of the needs of your clients. Now, let's get back to our vocab list. Another word. What is a fiduciary, and why is a fiduciary important, Joe?
You hear a lot more about this anymore, especially in the last few years. But what a fiduciary is working in your best interest, an advisor who has your best interest in mind. As a Series 65 investment advisor, we have to do what's in your best interest and disclose fees and costs. And that's one thing. A lot of times people say, well, I'm not really paying that much. I don't know how much my fees are. They told me I'm really not paying anything. Well, when you peel the onion away, you find a lot of fees that you had no idea you're paying. So we disclose our fees. We show what they are. We want everybody to understand what they're paying so they get a good idea. And also there's more value in that as well, so they can get a good understanding all the way through.
Okay, Joe, that's very informational there. You know what? I'm one of those people who I like to prepare for everything and every meeting that I have. So once someone finds an advisor, how should they prepare for that first meeting?
We definitely want to make sure, depending what your goals are. I mean, when we meet with our prospects in the initial appointment, we want to make sure we see what's happening. Looking at Social Security statements as far as what you can expect for Social Security when you retire, current investment statements, 401k, IRA, Roth, savings accounts. And when looking at all this, and we want to make sure, if married, we have both husband and wife there, because it's so important that everybody's on the same page and understands it. Some people say, well, Joe, I handle all this, or they don't handle it. That's great, but you really want to have both people, husband and wife, on the same page, understanding, because, of course, this is something that we're going to build for the next 30, 40 years, and we'll make sure that everybody understands what we're doing. So we want to see those statements so we can really give a good evaluation of what the costs are. If we know what the returns are, if we know how you're allocated, and build a plan for you. Because when we do it, we look at all that, and we build a great retirement compass to show our clients what the next 30, 40 years is going to look like for them, how they're going to get money, what their returns are going to look like. Of course, there's no guarantees, but we're very conservative with our estimates, and having everything together when we meet really helps us put everything together for them.
And Joe, should people interview a potential advisor? And if you should interview a potential advisor, what are the qualifications you need to look for in that advisor?
Again, one of the things is when you're interviewing advisors, you want to have somebody who understands, who has been doing this for years. I mean, we've been in the financial arena for 30 years. We started in mutual funds and in term and in variable contracts. We know variable for the last 25 years. But the qualifications, you want to make sure that definitely a fiduciary, Series 65 investment advisor. There's a lot of great advisors out there who are knowledgeable or have all the designations, but they don't necessarily have the experience or understanding, or they may just be pitching a product because that's what their firm says that they need to push. So when you're looking at the qualifications, ask them, how many of your clients are retired? How many of them are living comfortably on retired? Hey, when the market went down last year during the pandemic, how many people did you actually call, or were you hiding under the desk? And that was the one thing that we were calling everybody, making sure everybody understood that they were in good shape. And because the way they were allocated, we talk about allocation all the time, we knew that they were in good shape. They knew they were in good shape. So that's really important. You want to interview them, make sure that they understand what to do, what is proper allocation, where's my tax-free bucket, where's my safe, predictable income strategy, where's my long-term growth strategy. You just don't want to say, oh, I've got all these different mutual funds or what have you. You need to have a good plan. So you want to make sure they understand the plan like we do when we put it together. We show them the next 30, 40 years, what that's going to look like. And based on, regardless of market climate, regardless of what happens in the market, we can't, we don't have that crystal ball. But if you strategize properly, then you can make it through it and have that. We talk about the peace of mind and the sleep insurance, and that's what we provide is by having that peace of mind with a proper allocation. That's what they're going to be able to receive.
And that's what we say. Joe knows. Joe, thank you again for calling in. We appreciate the valuable information.
My pleasure. Thanks for taking care of us.
Of course. You as well. Thank you, Joe. If you want any more information, just head on over to the Aging and Style page. That's on WNEM.com. And here's a real treat. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Facebook Live at 10:15 this morning. Joe Vitale will join me to answer all of your questions. TV5 News at 9 continues right after the break.